The Tolakan is here, although just not quite there, but it is coming, although in fact it is already underway, so we'll be joining that shortly. But in this turn, we still want to build up a force here with Imladris, because as you can remember, we're going to take out this force, although we'll probably end up leaving a small garrison, although no, I think we can basically take this entire force out, and Gildor's going into Imladris to garrison whatever is left. And Elrond is going to march down here and take the region of Eregion and Ost-in-Edhil. And then over here we've got a few units kind of coming down to garrison. And of course over here we're going to be building actually our Tolakan army. So how about you go back in there? And who is going to garrison, or take charge rather, of the army? I'm thinking we'll take Finrod. If we just have a look at his traits, he's not fantastic. Overly suspicious. I don't think they have assassins in this game, but he feels unappreciated, and perhaps we should send him on his way and actually get some useful traits. I'd imagine you get some, and the +5 movement speed, or movement range rather, will probably prove quite handy. And with a name like Finrod, you got to have him as the commander of something, because he's perhaps my favourite elf of the first stage. And then over here we've got the dwarves, who actually don't hold Western Faradwai.
Yes, my lord.
It's been overtaken by the rebels, so we could theoretically go and get that, but we're not going to do that. We'll let the dwarves and the hillmen kind of duke it out over there. But really, the main thing is going on down here in Lond Daer. We've got Gil-Galad. He's going to take this town, and we'll see if we can branch out further into Enedwaith, because of course they're being held here at the bridge of Tharbad. And we kind of want to just sweep them away. We don't want to have anything to do with them anymore. And we do have this fleet here that we could use for our Tolakan army to move swiftly down here. But to be honest, they'll probably move better just across land over here. And also, we do have a mission here to blockade this port for 2 turns and get 1,000 gold. And our finances, rather, are still looking okay. But for this turn, I think that is everything. Yeah. The dwarves got their bottoms beaten up north over the end turn. The vow is taken, so Lothlorien have joined the Tolakan, and we will be doing so shortly. How about you guys go in there? And actually, something that I did forget to do over the end turn is to recruit some units, because we definitely do need some. So how about we go ahead and get those and then put those in afterwards like that. And that way, once they're trained, then we can get those on the road immediately. I think, where's Finrod? He's there. I don't think we've got enough here yet to actually make a Tolakan army. We do actually have to wait 2 turns for those to recruit before we can make one. And sadly, we can't improve, rather, the recruitment capability or slots for a settlement, rather other than just growing it, and we're still a ways off. So let's just keep moving our garrison down over here. I think by the looks of it, there's nothing around here that will stop us from taking Lond Daer. So I'll tell you what, let's just take 3 rams to make sure, but they've only got 1 unit of Skjaldmire in there, so we'll probably take that quite easily, I think. And how about let's just keep this spy moving down here. Oh, and there's another settlement, Ugul. They've got very little in there. Of course, they are stretched thin, since they only hold this amount of land, and they're kind of boxed in at all sides by the Numenoreans, who of course also hold the region of Methedras, which I think that might be the last peak of the Misty Mountains, which is somewhere around here. I'm not entirely sure on that, but of course it's called by the Sindarin name, or Sindarin name of Angrenost, which is just the same as Isengard. But Ang means iron, and Ost is like city, fortress, town, all in one. kind of. So we're going to wait. Oh, no, I don't think we need to wait. I think we can go. So we'll take all of these guys. What's the fastest route down? Probably through there, yeah. So everyone come to there, and then we'll take... you're coming, of course. You're like going home almost. And we'll take the Sindar... Actually, let's just take... What have we got coming? Yeah, we'll just take all 4 of these. Or we'll leave the... we'll take the armoured ones. So that's not bad. We've got 2 units of decent infantry. And then obviously a whole heap of archers. Oh no, don't go that way. Oh, what the hell. Well, if that's annoying. Well, if they do attack us, we'll obviously have these guys in reserve, but we can't even move them closer. That's really, really annoying. Anyway, we'll move on. And indeed, we shall move on, because there's nothing else to do. Oh no! I think that's King Amdir has already died. Is that the right time for him? I guess I think that is actually... That might be around the year that he did actually die. So I don't know if they if that's scripted or if he has just gone and died. But the Numenorean Kingdoms have joined the Tolakan. And we did get that 1,000 gold now. From blockading that port. Now, it is important to join the Akan, or TA, as I'm just going to call it, before it's actually taken. Because otherwise, you know, you can't benefit from it in any way. And just like in a crusade, or jihad actually, as well, you get free upkeep and then access to shiny new mercenaries. So it's well worth getting. But if I were to just, you know, move... Well, I don't really want them. I don't want the Lindar infantry, really. They can stay back. What do we have over here? Oh, we've got more archers over here. I'll tell you what, let's just put another one in there to keep that going. But, yeah, well, I'm just going to keep them in there for now to keep them free until we can actually take these guys out. So another turn for that. Oh, it's quite annoying how slow that is. But anyway, let's go on with taking this. Now, I'm not going to auto-resolve because I don't know how biased it is. This here is, by the looks of it, well, I guess because it is like a Numenorean town, so it's got Numenorean-esque architecture. That's the word I was looking for. But as it is just a unit of archers, basically, what I'm just going to charge in Gil-Galad.
Our men have done well. The gates have fallen.
But it's actually quite a nice little town that we picked up here. Obviously, hopefully, we can upgrade it to make it look more elven in the future.
This is a clear victory.
And we did lose 5 men, but they'll replenish. And another settlement is now ours, turning it nice and blue. And we're just going to occupy it. What does it look like in here? Oh, it's got not too much to grow, but let's put in an artist studio immediately. Although I suppose we don't really need it, because it's already got 50% of our culture here. Is there anything else that we can't use in here? Of course, it's an Arnor homeland. Oh, communal farming, we can keep that. Wait, what's an arsenal? Oh, we can't even destroy it. Oh, that's an interesting building. It probably does something for them. But there's nothing here that we can't use. So we'll stay in here for 1 turn, I think. We'll perhaps... Well, let's put those in there, and then we can carry these guys over, and then they'll come and garrison this. Although these Lindon long spears have seen better days, but I think we can hold up. We can just take them with us anyway, because pikemen are very useful. And well, our ships aren't particularly useful right now, but I'm just going to sail them up the river, kind of just scout out the land and kind of get some map information as well, just so we can see who owns what, and even though we already know. And yeah, so it's another turn there. I have to keep checking because I'm an idiot, but we're not going to attack those trolls because there's we gain nothing from doing that. So let's just move down here, and you move down there. And those orcs that were around here, they look to kind of, I think the pass is just here. In fact, there's a very easy way to check.
Yes, my lord.
Yeah, so they've gone in through here, and then they've got a settlement just somewhere around here, and then they've also got one like over here. In fact, don't we have map information? Oh, we do have map information, but we can't actually see. We can't actually see the settlement itself. So I don't know. I guess we don't have map information because we can see the hillmen settlements over there. So clearly that's not a thing. But we're going to come across some units along the way, but not to worry. But surely then there's something that we can actually build in the meantime. I don't know if there's anything particularly useful. We can get a port in Eregion next turn. We've kind of built everything that we need otherwise over here. I suppose how useful are stables when we've already got one over here? Roads are coming there. Does Forlond need anything at all? How about you just get a town hall and off we go? We're not going to be taking any adoptions at this point in time. Oh, we got 1,500. Thank you very much. But oh, look at this. Fire raid. Lond Daer. Our settlement burns. No doubt this is the work of the wild men of Enedwaith since the war of Sauron and the Elves. These accursed fire raisers have devastated Numenorean settlements. Unless we are allied to them, this will continue, or in case our armies will be brought down upon these savages, for as long as they hold any of their main settlements, Eregion, Oglo, Burig, and Buruk. So there's Oglo anyway, and I think Buruk is actually their capital over here. And in Divide and Conquer, you have Burig over here in the Dunland Hills. So we just need to take them, I think. Only them. I mean, that's basically all of their regions. So how about we set off? And who was it that was actually just brought in here? Okay, it was you. How much do you like us if we just skip out? That is fine. So we're just going to move on over there. They've got hardly anyone garrisoning that. So we're just going to get that nice and easy. Everyone got that art gallery. So how about let's... I mean, the roads would be okay, but it's a very small region, and I don't think it's particularly needed, and a port would be quite nice. Obviously, it increases trade by a little bit, just default, but how much does a trade route typically give? If we look over here in our capital, 245 in Mithlond. Harlond is... Wow, okay, so ports are very much a go-to. They give a solid boost to income, indeed. What else happened? Oh! And before I forget then, well, let's have a look down here in Minas Ithil, because it's already under siege. Now, you might be thinking, why even bother at this point? And to be honest, you'd be quite right. In fact, can we even join? We can join. We can join against in the Tolakan. So here we go then. This is going to go down as a failed expedition, clearly. I already know. But we can get some volunteer spearmen, which are the same as our Noldor spearmen. Same as like the Elder Rinway in Third Age and whatnot. And volunteer archers as well, which are basically what Elrond has as his bodyguard. And we can't train these just yet. Actually, I think we can get the volunteer, or like the Noldor spearmen. We can get them. And then of course, then there's also Eldar volunteers, but they're not very good. And of course, we don't have to pay for them right now, but seeing as the Minas Ithil is already under siege, we probably will have to pay for them very soon. So let's march out to here first. Can we get anything else? Oh no, it's just Eldar infantry. But if we go to an Arnorian region, here we go. So once again, there's Eldar volunteers. There's Arnor commoner volunteers. They're not very good, but they do have the boost against armor. They do cost more. But how... Ooh, these aren't bad. Long range missiles, good stamina, and 4 missile attack. I think I'll take them. Because of course then once the Tolakard is over, then we can no longer get them. Now, I wonder if we went to Barad-dûr we could get some dwarven units. I don't know. Seeing as we just went into a Manish region. We got some there. Runen, the East Hills is what that translates as. East is in East is a relative term, really. And just like Rudar is called like East Forest, coming from the elements of Rune, or is it just Ru? Like Rhu, and then, you know, like the Easterlings of Rune are just the Easterlings of the East, is what that means, I think. And but Rudar has the elements of Ru and Taur with a T, which is like forest or wood. Just like Mirkwood later becomes known as Taur Nufuin, and also there's the Taur Nufuin of Dorthonion in the first stage. Anyway, I'm going on a real tangent there. Let's get back to the gameplay. We've already sorted that. Faction announcements, end of. So we are still making money, and we got those units which I already pulled out. Now I could have taken Glorfindel, but I feel like that's a bit of a. I suppose I should have maybe now. But I feel like that's a bit risky, because of course you can always fail Tolakan, and this army could get wiped out, and they're going very far away from our home, and for that reason I didn't want to risk one of our customs. But Glorfindel, I think it would be more interesting perhaps to send him north, as like a precursor. Of course, then in the year 1975 of the Third Age, he led the army of the Elves, or at least the cavalry charge from the rear against the Witch King of Angmar here in Fornost. Oh, actually, it was somewhere around here in the hills of Evendim, I think. So I'm going to send him north, and that's going to be like, hopefully we'll get an army with that, or perhaps we can get a Tolakan in that direction. But for now, that's... Oh, whoops. Oh, no, we haven't moved Elrond, so let's move him along here. Shall we just take this guy out? It's a real pitiful force, but there we go. If I were to... I'm just going to auto-resolve. We lost no men. Good stuff. And we'll execute and carry on our way. So we won't reach it in the next turn, but the turn after that. Now that does leave us a little vulnerable over here. So let's get those two. We're getting some solid units there. The Noldor Spearmen and the Noldor Swordsmen. And ideally, actually, we'd get some archers in there as well. But I think we'll do okay with that. And again, I don't want the adoption. And take settlement. Ost-in-Edhil. Didn't we already get... No, we didn't. I thought we already had... Oh, I just noticed the Tolakan's gone. Which does mean that, of course... we have succeeded. You know what? I'm not even going to attack that army because I'd rather them kind of come into... Well, it would be interesting for them to go in here. And also, this looks like it's a custom settlement, which I think it is. And it will probably reflect the campaign strategy model that we've got there. And vengeance has come. Your dutiful efforts to extract vengeance upon the foes of the Alliance shall not go unrewarded. 272 gold, 12 units get an experience bonus. And oaths taken honours the men who marched out and diminish. Darkness diminish in the world. This reads really oddly. It doesn't flow. It doesn't... well, let's have a look who actually took it. Okay, so the Numenorean Kingdoms, of course, took it. They have a massive bonus to their Tolakans because they seemingly are close to everyone. We've got the artist studio in Lond Daer. They kind of... they don't hate us just yet. And in regards to all this, I'm not going to repair this because this is going to be an ongoing problem until we take all these settlements. So I don't really see a reason...
With honor.
Oh, that's weird. Can we now get a tower there? Oh, now we can. Was that scout in our army or something? But anyway, let's march down there. We'll make it there in the next turn. And Veryman over there, he is making sure no one's nearby. But that does mean that we can't get any more Tolakan units. And now we are actually paying for all this large army. And oh my word, that is expensive. But we are actually still... in the black. So I guess there's nothing better to do than just march off to war. So Finrod, you're going to come down here, and I suppose you're going to take... we'll probably just sweep away Enedwaith once and for all then.
Yes, my lord.
Alright. Let's have a look over here then, in the north with our diplomat. And
Yes,
indeed, the Hillmen of the north have taken this region. Indeed. Agent detected, probably. Oh, it's in Lond Daer, okay. And the Arnorians, or the Numenoreans rather, they're coming down south.
Yes, my lord.
Although by the looks of it, they haven't actually taken a region over here, so they don't border this region, other than, like, you know, across the river, but that's like sea there, so I don't know if they'd actually feel like attacking here, but by the looks of it, Enedwaith don't mind me taking this region. Although they have got a few more forces in there than what I thought they did. And construction report, we've got the town hall up in Fordelond. Now, of course, the town hall doesn't do what it does in Divide and Conquer. It just provides a public order bonus due to approval once again, but that's just kind of a safety net for later on. But Hardelond also got the road, so now, should we need to, we can kind of traverse this distance far easier. But let's have a look at the end of turn report. Militarily, we're doing okay. To be honest, we're doing okay across the board, I'd say. And we are still making money as well. And Imladris then got those forces in the garrison. We don't have to pay for them, which is a massive boost. So if those orcs over there do decide to attack us, or those orcs, I think we've probably got enough here to repel them, hopefully. And indeed, these orcs did actually go into the town, so that's good news. And let's just build 2 rams, that's all we've got enough for. And hopefully then next turn we'll go in there and have a crack at that. 14 attack, 25 defense. They're not too bad, the orc bodyguards. But the rest of their forces seem very, very poor.
Yes, my lord.
So it doesn't look like we're going to have a double siege in in the next turn. Let's just move. Oh, we can't move up there. Oh, no, we can. So, yeah, Dunland is, of course, held by the clans. If we can just move any further up there, that would be grand. But we are flicking through the turns at quite a rate. It's going to get really annoying with all these adoptions. Eventually, I'm going to have to take someone. But an Explorers Guild in Mythland. I'll tell you what, let's just go ahead and take it. We can't actually get any other guilds, although that was all of our money. And actually, the Wildmen of Enedwaith apparently are the richest faction in the game right now, which is very odd. Perhaps if we take their regions, we'll become the real masters of the coin. But let's go in and take Oglo. I don't think they recruited any forces. No, we haven't. No, they haven't. And yeah, we've seen all these units before. They've got 2 units of skirmishers. We've got some Skjeldmire and War Chanters and the base general.
Attack!
Well, here we are then. And this is the town that we are today attacking. And so I've kind of split up our forces. We've got 3 over here attacking this gate. Just to make sure that, you know, we're not all clogging through here. So we've got our best infantry unit kind of over here, and then we've got a couple of units of archers as well that can then shoot up this hill should they need. But the only real worry here are these archers here, who indeed are actually shooting at us, and they will outrange us as well because they're on the hill. But if they do those kinds of shots, I think we'll be quite happy for that. Oh, what's gone on here?
Our men have reached the gate with the battering ram.
Well, they've kind of opened the gate. So let's just go on in. I was trying to move the ram just out of the way, but inadvertently we've kind of already gone in. So just go on in there and attack if I can just click on them, and let's also send Gil-Galad in as well.
We'll smash the enemy.
And then over on the other side as well, we've barged down the gate rather than just, you know, gaining access through stupidity of the defenders. So we can just, hopefully, I think we're okay just to send these guys immediately into melee. We don't need to worry about them at all. We're so much better than they are. And over here at the gate, I'm okay for the Lindar infantry just to take a few hits here. They're only against war chanters, which aren't very good at all in melee, so they'll trade very well with that. And then we don't have to send in Gil-Galad to get tired, because we can just send him in later on. We aren't making much use at all of our archers. Perhaps let's have a look at what the arc looks like from here. That looks pretty decent. Perhaps if we shoot over at the skirmishers, we are going to take a lot of losses, perhaps to... Oh wait, we are definitely going to take a lot of losses. How about if we put these guys over here? Can we actually reach? Our Lindar archers just don't have the range over here. We can't actually even shoot to the town square. So we just need these guys really to flop over and die. Ah, I kind of forgot about their bodyguard, which is here, the Chieftains Halladin, and they are armor piercing, which is a real issue, because I think a lot of our defense for our Sindar swordsmen is in armor, so they're going to take a lot of damage. But unfortunately, these war chanters are very difficult to kill, and we just can't seem to get through. But hopefully, we will soon enough, and then we can actually shoot into this force over here. But it's not the end of the world should we lose the Sindar swordsmen, because we can get them relatively easy back. We finally won the battle at the gate, so we can kind of move some forces over here. Perhaps if we just get a couple of archers up here, then we can shoot into the back of here. Our Sindar swordsmen have almost gone down, although that does allow us to... Oh, they're routing, actually. That's interesting. I've never really seen forces rout, or Elven forces rout, but we've got Gil-Galad coming over here. Now that does afford us some nice shots actually from this side, so that's very handy. Got a couple Skjoldmar still here. What is going on there? Is that guy? That guy's like lost an arm, and then he's like still T-posing. That's quite funny. And over here, perhaps there's just so many bodies there that they can't fit them all in. If we could just move some archers over here, that would be grand. I don't know if we can... I mean, that's a decent spot there. Then we can actually shoot at them in the flank. And now some shots in the back, s'il vous plaît. As we take out the Chieftains Halladin. Finally. So 34. How many go down to the volley? Oh, decent. Okay, let's just stop firing. And down goes the general. Being sworded. Stabbed through the neck and head. But let's just end it there. We lost 98 men. How many did we retrieve? So, where am I looking? Sindar swordsman, we retrieved 21 from the battlefield, so there's only 33 left. Oh dear. But that is one of the regions that are required to stop the clansmen from devastating our newly acquired regions. And let's just occupy as well. I see no reason that we actually need to start killing off population. Now, what do we have in here? We have a country fair. Looks very similar to the UI of barbarian invasions roads, I think, for like the barbarians. I think that's like where that's from. But increase in tradable goods, leather tanner, warriors lodge. I think we can just destroy that. Yep, that's their culture-inducing building. And other than that, we can use all of this. Ooh, what's this? Drugu. Oh, this is maybe... Yeah, the Druidine. So these are... I don't think they have any other word other than Druidine. But they were like the original... the Pukul men, I think. Or the Pukul men. They kind of lived in this forest over here. And then during like... During the ride of the Rohirrim, when they came over here in the Third Age, of course the Orcs had taken the Ramas Ekor, which was like the wall like that went all the way around Minas Tirith. which kind of allowed them to withstand sieges for a very long time. Well, the Orcs had already taken that, and they'd barricaded or like blocked off all the entrances with all the forts, so there was no way in other than like kind of like through the forest. There was some secret way in behind, so the Pukul men kind of helped the Rohirrim out there because they want to see the Orcs die. But we've taken Oglo, and which way should we take? So have we got this whole region here? Yes, we have. What is the region down here called? Okay, so this is actually the Druaith Ior, which comes all the way down here. So now we've just got this one little region, the Hills of Agar, kind of over there that we need to take out. Perhaps Finrod could take that, and then he could even move down and take Druaith Ior, where Gil-Galad kind of moves in to take the Gap of Calanarthen. Is that a town there? No, that's just a trade resource. But there's probably like one settlement here, and then there's obviously Dunland.
Ships ready.
The Dunland region.
Yes, sir.
And then perhaps there's the Dunland Hills. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 regions, perhaps? I don't know. Quite interesting. But hopefully we'll see them off soon. And then for this second, perhaps the more notable battle of this turn,
Yes.
I just wanted to have a look at that Orc army. There's quite a sizable army there. But we're going to take Ost-in-Edhil. And I've already had a look at what they've got. They've got the Orc bodyguard, they've got the Goblin Raiders, which is quite an aggressive unit, really. And then they've got some Javelin men and some Spearmen, but they are not as good as us.
Muster your courage, men.
This is the current state of Ost-in-Edhil. It is a ruin. It's very... Well, this is just the Elven City battle map, I think. And it's just got holes in it, damaged walls and whatnot. It's the same throughout, and it's just got a slightly darker tinge to the buildings. Because, of course, this city... Well, so we're currently in the 34th century of the Second Age. And approximately... and it was in the 17th century, so a few years have gone by. This is where the Noldoran elves predominantly lived, and this is where the Gwaith Myrdain was, and where the Rings of Power were made. And of course, then there was the war of Sauron and the elves that eventually the elves were able to win, but only after the fact that Sauron had burnt all the woods and trees of Enedwaith and killed basically a lot of elves, and it took a fleet from Numenor to come and help and bail Gil-Galad out. But we've kind of got a nice little hill here, and actually also that was then when Imladris was founded by Elrond as he retreated from Sauron's orcs. Now we're kind of going to expect them to come out at us as soon as we start shooting at them. So we're going to set up... I think we're in range. Oh no, we're not. Well, how about if we just go like so, and then Elrond's probably in range. Yes, he is. So he does have slightly better range. We're going to put him at the top of this hill, and we'll just put you guys on fire at will. And Elrond, stop there and shoot at what you want. The general's coming over here. Actually, Elrond, maybe shoot them, although they're kind of getting behind that building. Let's also just have a quick look at their models. They look quite similar to the original. I mean, there's only so many ways an orc can look, I guess. But they do still have some over there, some snagger skirmishers. Oh, shoot, the orc bodyguard is right there. Surely we can get a shot on them. Oh, look at all that. I mean, we didn't kill all that many because of the shield, but I think we can get another volley in there before we have to tell them to stop firing, because we are probably shooting our own. And Elrond does have very much the same as the Elder Rinway archers from 3rd Age Total War. And very much the same stats really, just with a slightly smaller unit size. And then the Goblin Warmongers, they look very similar to Goblin Band in DAC. They might have a slightly different chest piece there. Or some have different, some have not. And then the Snagger Skirmishers are looking very snaggery, very slavey as they are, and more Snagger Skirmishers. So the Goblin, or the Orc Bodyguards rather, they're quite heavily armoured, so we're going to bring around the Smiths of Eregion to deal with them. They're kind of clearly just stuck in guard mode and they don't know what to do, although now they're running away. The enemy leader is a perfect enemy. I can't remember the voice acting anymore. I'll have to play Rome Total War again at some point. But this leader is running away. This is no way for a leader to behave, but in battle, it's beyond belief. And actually now we're going to bring in the Smiths, which look, well, they look the same as they always have, because no one's going to change them. But they look very much the same, but in they come. Do they get to charge? Oh yes, they do. With their hammers, they take down a number of them. And good stuff. Now they do still have a few but in reserve, but they're all Snagger. The Smiths absolutely dishing the pain, dishing the dirt on these Orc Bodyguards. They are no match. And well, we just want to make sure that they die, I guess. There's no way we're going to make them all rout, I suppose. And down goes the Goblin General over there, or Orc Bodyguard, or whatever he's called. What was he called again? Zagharat. Congratulations. And, well, it's just tedious to use missile infantry. Let's just go in there with our infantry and hopefully that will sort them out. They're so well camouflaged, but... And there they go. Oh no, they're still going. Still going. And there they go. There we go. We did lose 81 men, but it's inconsequential. And we retake our ancient homeland. Now, let's have a look at... I don't know if there's perhaps some... Okay, so the ruins of the Gwaith Myrdain are here. And of course we can't rebuild it. It doesn't seem to give us any actual bonuses other than the 5% like public order, but I suppose that's better than nothing. And it cannot be destroyed, even more than it already has. And also this is an eastern homeland, so we do get that 25 bonus to law, so less wastage, as it's called. And let's have a look at what else they've put in here. All seems pretty standard. And how does the culture look? Pretty low, pretty low. So we're going to need to get that artist studio, which we have the money for.
Your order,
and this region seems completely cut off. You can't actually get into that region. Interesting. So the only way actually in is through this gap here. But of course now we do border. We border Dunland Hills. So Bairig, Burig, however you want to say it, is there. So we could be attacked from both the north, as Gazlur looks like he's perhaps going to try and do, or he's more likely to go for Imladris. Or Imladris is probably how you'd say it. Rivendell. But anyway, we got +2 command. Wow. But actually, what I'd also like to do is perhaps take South Rhudaur away. I don't like the idea of the hillmen getting stronger. I think that's quite a large region there, actually. Because they do look like they're going to look at getting Sitjak up there at some point, and then obviously at that point they're already holding like half of Eriador, which is less than ideal. Now, we do have a small amount of money left. I don't think we need any troops.
Yes, my lord. Leave, I'm just laying
Let's put an artist studio here as well. I thought I maybe would have done that, but I didn't. And I think that Arnorian or Numenorean force is probably just moving down here to the south, either to Angrenost or indeed they also hold the Deeping Coombe, which is the fortress of Aglarond. Because Numenoreans built these two fortresses just to guard the pass of, or gap of Calenarthon. Let's just move on to the next turn. Okay, what happened this turn? We got another Explorers Guild. How many of these do you really want? I don't really want that just yet. Harad ships reported. A trade ship closing in on Gondor has been attacked at sea by buccaneers from Harad. The black-sailed ships. The black-sailed ships are truly the scourge of the sea. I lost 300 gold. Okay. Interesting. There's a lot of these. I quite like these little scripts that they've got in here. Ones that you didn't really know about, such as the fires. It just adds a bit more of that RP element once again. Now, what was the culture like here? It's extremely, extremely low. Wow. It's going to be a very long time before we can actually move out of here, I guess. What is the... Yeah, so we can only build the artist studio, which is like the first tier. So we're likely going to need someone to garrison this force for a very long time. Like, if you take Gil-Galad out, yeah, they already hate that.
Yes,
although, it's only another 100... citizens to go, and then we can grow it. So it's not all doom and gloom. I guess then we can actually build some other settlement things. Buildings, as you might call them. We can build more buildings and then improve that even more. But that is a large force coming our way. So I'm going to put in that unit of Lindar archers. As I say, I think we've probably got enough here to ward off whatever they've got, because they do not have as good units as we do. And of course, Gildor is somewhat useful. He does have a lot of arrows, hopefully. How big is that quiver? But Glorfindel as well is kind of wasting away in here. So if I put him in Elosterion, that should help it grow a bit soon. And then... it'll be able to get a port, and then ports obviously make a lot of money. And you just may as well come down here. I think we've got a guy in here. Yes, we do. And one more turn until that port, so we'll be able to see how much that makes. That's quite interesting. And then over here, again, there's not really a whole lot. I'm really glad that at the start of this campaign, I made sure to build up these regions with everything that was needed, like for monetary gain. Because at this point, you know, you're really strapped for cash. Of course, I've got those... Where did that one army go? Oh, yeah, it's in here. Because with these kinds of armies, you know, you're paying through the nose. And now I've got 3 armies on the go. Now, I think I might just... if I just merge like so... just because I prefer to have large units. Oh, and they don't actually hate us if we just have 1 unit in there. That's very good to know. And how much do you have left to grow? Quite a bit. But we're going to take out this force, and then hopefully they won't bother us.
We attack.
I didn't actually look at what they had here. I just assumed that it would be really rubbish. But they've got some snagger skirmishes, which we've already seen. Goblin Wayslayers. They are just heavy goblin archers. 4 missile attack. And actually quite a lot of defense as well. Requires thieves guilds. Or guild rather. That's quite interesting. Snagger skirmishes. Oh yeah, we've already seen them. And then back here they've got the Orc bodyguards, which once again we've already seen. But Elrond is the only one that can actually fire right now. Perhaps just shoot the Snagger skirmishers. It's a bit... Suddenly there's a whole lot more of them. And they've got some goblin warmongers. Are these halberdiers? Or are they spearmen? They look like they're halberd... Oh no, they've got a shield. No. They are just spears. Well, shoot the goblin waste slayers then, if you must. And let's get some folks on the side over here. You go on that side. Perhaps not the smiths. They're not really going to be needed. However, they do have the goblin bodyguards over there, which they have heavy armor, so it would be very useful to actually get the smiths on them. But other than that, our archers are probably taking care of all this. And although we're not taking too many down with our archers on these bodyguards. So come, smiths. Go and take the orc bodyguards before they reach Elrond over here. And you guys just shoot something over there, and you just go and get those goblin wastelayers. And how about a good old sandwich here? Now they're surrounded, and shoot those snagger skirmishers. We're just chasing those guys off over there. Down goes the general to the smiths, and now it's just whatever they've got over here. Hopefully, 89% are down. We can finish it off there. And who got the most kills? Archers, of course. Easy, easy, easy. Although, I think what we should do now then is make sure we get a tower there. I don't know where this... Looking at these roads, it does suggest that there's a settlement like right there. And also just looking at the boundaries. So there's Dunland and Dunland Hills, so I'd imagine it's there. But I think now we can just move back over there. I think Elrond should... Ideally, we'd go and take out the deep Misty Mountains. Whatever the settlement's called over here, we go and take that, just so we've got a nice pocket here, knowing that we can't get attacked from the middle here. It's quite well, we'll get divided and conquered that way. So let's give it another end turn and see what happens during the course of that. To me, at least, it does seem like the Orcs of the Misty Mountains aren't overly bothered by us, because they just keep on passing armies around like that. Can they not just march straight down like that? It's worth looking, actually, who they're at war with. So we're at war with a fair amount of people. The wild men of Enedwaith, they're only at war with us and the Numenoreans. Mordor are at war with basically everyone that joined the Tolakan. Interestingly, not the Woodland Realm or Erungarland, they're not. And Orcs of the Misty Mountains, they're at war actually with so us, the dwarves, Lothlorien and Erungarland. So that's probably why they can't really divert much in this direction, because they're at war with basically everyone already. So since they're not bringing anyone down that way, perhaps we could just use Elrond to go and have a look over here.
We shall continue tomorrow.
I was hoping we'd maybe see something there. If we take Byrig, then obviously that is another nail in the coffin of Enedwaith. And let's just get these guys out now as well. And I'll tell you what, would it be quicker if you came by boat? Or it would have been. Perhaps not anymore. I should have thought about that last turn, really. Everyone got the port, though. That's good news. How much does it make? Nothing. Basically, it makes like 100. It's a bit disappointing. I'm not going to lie. Perhaps to get... I think we perhaps just need to get the crop rotation, because it's got a long way to grow, and there's nothing really to get in these other places. We don't really need either of those studios. And Erungarland are the wealthiest. I feel like wealth is what I'm all about. Or what I'm after. But sadly, there's not a whole lot of wealth to go around. We've got too many armies now, and we're paying for it, literally. So the only thing you can really do when you've got too many armies is just keep on going and keep on conquering. So we're just going to take this region over here, with that, and then keep on going. Obviously, we can't actually move Gil-Galad out yet, can we? Oh, we can. We can. Well, what do we? How much can we take out? They're okay still at that point. If we just take all of our archers, and if we take them. Oh no, they don't like. It's not.
Yes, my lord.
It's not too bad. Perhaps if we leave one unit of archers behind, and then take the 38, I think that's okay. Because I mean, we'll just use those to hold the line. In fact, we've got plenty there. We've got definitely enough there. So perhaps if we go in and take the gap.
Yes, my lord.
I just don't want to, stretch myself too thinly. Perhaps it's better just to come up here and take their capital. Now, judging by the way this road goes, we'll go in this direction then.
Making camp here.
I don't know where I'm guessing it's. I'd imagine it's like there. So we take that region, we take this region with Elrond, and then they've only got one left. I don't know if they get last stand. Oh no, they've got two left. I don't know if they get last stands. I should really have a look at when is... Oh, this is going to be useful. Oh, and indeed it is right there.
Yes,
it's just out of range. Now, do we actually have enough to take that? Because if they start recruiting units... then they might get a whole bunch more. Yes. I'm going to attack it just like that, so we're not at the corner of the settlement. Get a couple of rams, and I think we've already seen this settlement type. Oh, they've got Dunland Haladin. They're different. Although they're also effective against armor. It'll be interesting to see their stats. They've also got some Dunland Hillmen in here, also effective against armor. Quite useful against the Numenoreans, because just like us, they seem to have a lot of armor in general. But we get 1,500 from that. We did actually lose some money over the end turn. That's just due to construction. And over here, Elendor didn't die. Good stuff. But he's probably on his way to Tharbad. Let's put a tower there.
This tower will keep
and there is a large force there. But then there's also a bunch of Arnorians, Numenoreans there. Perhaps if we just go in the trees here. How is that not an ambush position? Why aren't you ambushing? But there is the faction capital. I'm hoping the Numenoreans attack that. Because I thought maybe we'd get into ambush position, because this actually would be a really good army to ambush with. We have no cavalry, which does make it a little bit difficult to catch all of their missile infantry. Now, before we leave it here, let's just make sure that we move Finrod, not Felagund, down like that, and why not just move these ships down as well. Perhaps we can move him to the next settlement. Let's have a look when we can actually call the next Tolakan. Not yet. I can't remember when the last one was. Is it like one every 10 turns or something like that? Perhaps it is. And if it is, then we've probably got another couple of turns before we can call one. I'd quite like for one to be called on like really anything over here. It would be quite easy for us to go and get that, or even Buruk. Because then we'd get that nice and easily. But anyway, this certainly we're conquering Eriador very nicely. This is going it's chugging along quite well. Thank you very much for watching. Like it if you liked it. Comment what you think of how this is going. Perhaps any thoughts on, because obviously this is a beta, or perhaps you're playing as a different faction. Let's just talk about the mod if you want. You don't have to. And subscribe if you want to also. But I'm going with Gandalf. Good day.